Three,
Two,
one.
one. Monkey bars. Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Thicc and Butter podcast. My name is Alex,
My name is Jesse.
aka Thicc.
And butter.
This is episode 64. I don't know anymore.
You're right. That was a good guess.
Yes. And this is we took a hiatus. We took
Yeah.
a hiatus. We just posted episode 63 where we talked about wizards today, and we recorded that a while ago. So far ago that I was in Boulder with you for a week.
Yeah. And so I guess that means it's nice that since we have this sort of delayed release schedule from when we record it, that it's
Right.
I don't think it's as disruptive as it feels to us. But it was like it's been a week between the last two episodes still.
Right,
So it's
yeah,
been like we released the Jaws episode, then it's a week, and then
we
has it been
recorded
2
the
weeks?
Jaws episode like a couple days after 4th of July.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh my God, that's right. That's crazy.
Yeah, we recorded it. Well, we went crazier than that. We went to Columbus for a little bit. We recorded that episode before we went to Columbus.
Wow.
That feels like
that's
forever
true.
ago.
That does feel like forever ago. My life has transformed.
You moved cross country since
I know.
then.
Yeah. Since in between these two episodes, my life has completely changed into something new.
Dude, should we talk about our Boulder experience?
Yeah, dude.
That was a great time.
Yeah, tell me about what you like so much about Boulder.
Okay. So, for you guys out there, Jesse moved to Boulder, Colorado, and I'm still here in good old Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I decided, with the pandy and all that shit going on, I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I hopped on a plane, which weird experience. Oh, I didn't even tell you. So on the way back, I was on a big plane, like a really big plane. There were 130 seats open.
Wow.
I had a whole row to myself. At the front row, the row in front of me was completely empty. Like almost every person on that plane had a whole row to themselves, which was so surreal. Like I couldn't even tell you, because I've never been on a plane like that. Let alone everybody's wearing a mask and
no one's on it.
Really, it was a really weird experience.
Is it weird for it to be that much of a ghost town even on like a Tuesday?
Yes.
Wow.
But for me, audience probably doesn't know, but my dad's an airline pilot.
Big Dave flyboy.
And with that, when you're a pilot, you get benefits of non-running. So my life flying is usually a living hell, because it's like I wake up at 6 and it's like, okay, there's 5 seats open on this plane, and there's 4 of us. Hopefully, no one gets on this plane, buys tickets, last minute before, So there's been many times where we haven't been on planes and all that shit. So it was super surreal to have 0 issues. Not even, I got in, when we dropped me off at the airport, I was kind of late. I was, kind of, rushing to get to the gate. I got there immediately, and they were just like, here's a ticket. I was like, okay.
Whoa.
And I just got on the plane. It was so,
wait, so, go ahead.
Honestly, the pandy has made flying easier.
Yeah.
Because no one's flying. But, you know, it was so fun. But yeah, so I was in Boulder for how long was I there? I
You
was
were
there
there
for like
for a
7 days
week,
or
a
something.
solid
Yeah,
week. Yeah.
yeah. It was super fun, man. It was a blast. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I did
Um,
too. It was every single day. It really went by really quick
oh
too,
my
because
God, yeah.
we just did stuff the whole time. I was kind
Oh
of
yeah.
worried that like I would since I haven't been here for a very long time and I'm
Right.
such
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
shut in and I don't
Yeah.
know anybody that I would just like we would just peter out and be like, what do we do? It'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah. I
But that
mean,
never happened.
no. In a place like that, I mean, Boulder is such
Yeah.
a beautiful. I mean, it's just a bunch of young people, and you know, it's just you're by a giant
Mountain.
mountain. It's a
Mountain.
giant mountain. I mean, a few of them, not just
Yeah.
one, a lot of them. You
Yeah,
know,
a lot of
they're like big
mountains.
old mountains.
I wish I knew the name of the mountains because I have affection for them, and I
You'll
don't want
learn
to
them.
just call them. I
I
don't want to
have
just call them
affection.
mountains.
I love them.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
it's like calling your significant other it or something.
Come here, it.
It's away for now, you
What
know.
up, it?
It's not home. It's coming. What up, it? How you doing, it?
um, but you
It's
know,
not very nice.
it's magical out there. It
Yeah,
really
dude.
is. You know, we had a talk there that I keep thinking about, where it's like you feel
Hmm.
weirdly connected to nature when
Hmm.
you're there, and it's very odd. It's just very like humbling experience almost.
Yeah,
Especially like when you just wake up and you fucking walk outside and you just see this. You feel so small, you know.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
it's not a small mountain that you're. I mean, it's a big old
No,
mountain.
they call them 14,000ers or something.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know.
big old mountain.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think
um,
I always think about a conversation that Duncan Trussell and Joe Rogan had on a podcast one time, which Joe Rogan was describing how like humans have lost something with air pollution, where they can't go up and see the stars and sort of humble themselves with that. And even though
it's
Boulder
interesting.
is a civilized space, you still kind of can get that experience from being
Yeah,
here because for one, this it's so flat, so the sky is huge, so
right.
you have the sky experience where you get the feeling of magnitude there, and of course the big old bitty mountains over there with all their massive and humbling peaks. And you're right, you just immediately when you go outside, you just feel like that hippie connection to everything around you.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really cool, and you know, hiking culture there is so you know insane, and you know, we went on a few hikes. Oh, should we tell the story of?
Yeah, yeah, dude. The first hike we went on,
Yeah, so
that was the first hike I've ever been on in Boulder.
yeah, that's so funny. So we decided to like go on like a real ass hike. So we kind of looked at you know different trails and stuff that people have been on and
We didn't look at
voted
many different
on.
trails. We kind of just found one that
Yeah,
seemed
we
like
found
this seems
one.
fine, and we
It's
just
got
like
good.
let's map quest it.
It's got good reviews.
I said MapQuest. Have you? When was the last time anyone said MapQuest?
Oh, I don't know.
MapQuest it.
1992.
92.
Uh, um,
Anyways, we found the
but
best trail from through our research.
yeah, we found this trail that went up pretty high. It was
Yeah,
funny because I don't think we both didn't realize that, you know.
yeah.
Um, when we were like because we had to drive up the mountain.
And I didn't even really realize you could. I didn't even process that you could drive up the
Oh
mountain.
yeah, oh
Really,
yeah,
you know, like I know you could get over it. I know there's people beyond it, but I just sort of saw it like
yeah,
as this barrier. You know, like in video games, when you get to the mountain, that's the edge of the
yeah,
world,
yeah.
right?
There's a visible wall. You can't go
You
back
can't go up
there.
that. But we went up it. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, it was nuts. It was really cool. Yeah, so we were going up there, and you know, it was like sprinkling a little bit, like rain, and we were like, you know, and I was looking up, and this, you know, it was a gray. It was weird because it was like beautiful on one side, and then this giant ass like
Yeah.
gray cloud. We're like, oh, maybe it'll blow over, whatever.
And
It's just like
Boulder's
everybody else is outside driving
yeah,
up
and
the mountain
going
too. It's
around.
like,
And it's a good prediction because Boulder has very strange rain patterns because usually what happens
yeah.
is that there's literally patches. So it's like, well, it's raining here, but if we walk 10 feet, it might not be raining over there. That's
Yeah, it's
literally
super
how it
weird.
is.
Really
And
crazy.
most of the time it will sprinkle for about you know, really short periods of time, like a couple of minutes, and
Yeah.
then it will stop.
Wow.
Um
Yeah, that's so nuts. It's so crazy. That's kind of what it's like in oh man, oh what
The
I
city,
kind
state,
of completely
country,
like Florida.
Florida. Yeah, that sounds right. Except they
Florida,
have monsoons too, so
yeah,
they
they
have heavy
well
rain.
in
But
Florida, yeah, like heavy rains like almost
yeah,
every day there. But so we get out there and fucking gorgeous, just insane. Just
because we're at the top of the mountain, we could see
yeah, we
everything.
were very high. I think we were like I want to say we were like 900 feet or maybe 1,000. Maybe we hit a
A
thousand.
thousand.
1,000, um, 1,000 feet. Um, and so we were going and going, having a great time. Almost every like 10 minutes, we stopped and just looked out. We're like, what the fuck? Like, what are we
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
And we kept going and going and going. And then this moment that is ingrained in my brain that will never leave until the day I die is when we were at one of these places where you stand and you kind of look out. Gorgeous.
Magnificent view.
You see the mountain lines, you can see the city of Boulder. It's so flat there, so
Yeah,
you can see like so far.
everything, everything.
And I'm looking out and I see this lightning bolt, just this great lightning bolt, just fucking. It looked like a painting. It's like an
Yeah.
image in my head that like I will never forget. It was so striking. I've never seen
Yeah.
a thick lightning bolt like that. Like that was so visible, you know?
And the other interesting thing about that moment is the serious coincidence is that when you saw that, I was looking away, and then you looked away, and then I saw the same thing
Did
later.
you see like two of them or something?
Yeah, I saw like you saw like the boom. You're like, dude, that was crazy. It's like
Yeah,
I missed it a
yeah,
once in a lifetime thing, and then you
yeah,
looked away,
yeah,
and then I saw boom, boom.
yeah,
It was
yeah. It's
crazy.
crazy. And then the thunder, as we kept walking, it was like, kind of like every once in a while. And then as we kept walking further and further, it just kept getting louder and
Yeah.
louder. And then the rain started to speed up a little bit. We're like, all right, let's keep going. Let's just keep going. Let's see
And
what
it's
happens.
funny. It's funny too. As this was going on, I was initially kind of because I was driving and I was anxious about driving up the mountain. So when it was
Yeah,
sprinkling, I was in catastrophe mode. So
right,
I was nervous initially, and Alex was just trying to be cool and
right,
like be level headed and make me
yeah,
feel better. And so as we were walking on, our anxieties kind of switched
yeah.
because I was like, we're on a mountain. It's a good time. It's raining. It's kind of hot, so it's cooling down. And Alex is just like, I don't know, dude.
Well, like, because I kept getting in my own head because, like, it was as we kept getting farther and farther, the thunder literally got louder and
Yeah,
louder, and we kept
yeah,
seeing more lightning, like,
yeah.
strike. And I was just like, okay, the world, universe, God, Allah, Buddha, whoever is telling us the flying spaghetti monster, and anybody, whoever's up there is telling us, don't do this.
Yeah,
Just don't just know what. And also, in retrospect, everybody that we saw was walking back.
the
We
other
never
way.
saw
Yeah,
someone. No one passed us. No one was.
yeah.
And then that should have been a thing. Like, hey, maybe we should go back.
Yeah, and it
Um,
was thundering while we were on a mountain, one of the
yeah, yeah.
highest places in the
And then,
world.
sure enough, the rain starts just coming down hard. And we were like, all right, we're going. And we were just, I was soaking wet. I mean, we were
Yeah,
just running through this trail. And we had, like, I mean, we were like, I want to say like a mile and a half. Like, we were like ways
yeah. We were
down the
halfway through the
trail.
2 mile trail. Yeah, so we just we
Yeah,
did the full length of the trail. We just did it instead of going the full way. We just did the same thing twice.
right. Yeah, true. Yeah. And so, yeah, so we got back. But the weird part is what you were saying is like when we ran like for like 10 minutes or something, the rain just stopped. We just like
Yeah,
and like it was funny because it felt like the forbidden forest. It
yeah,
felt like
yeah.
that area. It's like don't
Right.
go anywhere.
Yeah, right, because like it's not like it stopped raining. It was just that there's a cloud over that
Right.
specific
Exactly.
peak.
Yeah.
And maybe if we walked through it, it would have
We would
been
have
like fine on the other side of it.
maybe
If we
maybe
trucked it, but it could have been that there was another cloud over
or a
there
bear
or a bear. We
or a
don't know.
troll.
Yeah, or a troll. Probably troll's probably the most likely situation. But yeah, that was really weird that when we came back, we walked out of the rain again. And we were basically dry by the time we got to the car, even though we were
Yeah.
soaking wet.
Yeah. It was really, it was super funny, but it was like, I was a little scared there for a second.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
was
dude, we're gonna get
nerve-wracking.
struck by lightning, guy.
We were in the middle of trees, and as we were walking, by the time we decided to turn around, we were in like trees that were full of widowmakers. Do you know that term, widowmakers?
I do, but is that a spider?
No, no, that's a widowmaker is I don't know if this is like an official term or whatever, but anytime there's a tree guy and there's like this limb that's like has broken off but is still being held onto a tree, that's
Oh, I've never heard that.
I've always heard it called a widowmaker
Oh,
because
interesting.
your husband's you're a gentle woman and you're cleaning jars from the kitchen and you see from the kitchen window your kind husband going and chopping wood, and then
Right.
all of a sudden, kabah! That big tree thing that's
Right.
been up there from the last storm, it kills you, and now your pilgrims got to find another husband.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Widowmaker. Yeah, I know, it's brutal.
That's crazy. Like, does that happen a lot? Trees
Well,
fall on people?
it happened enough,
It
I
happens
guess.
so much, that they
How
were like, we
many
gotta name this thing, dude.
how many times do you think that had to happen before they named it
I
that?
mean, like, it's gotta be like at least 10 in the
I think
same
10.
town, whoever named that.
It's either 10 times or one time in a really charismatic person, like that's a widowmaker, and then the press
Right.
was like, that's a great name,
As
and they
soon
went
as it
with it.
happened.
Yeah, like
Widowmaker,
maybe
like back then, if you died, it was like, bugger. You
right,
know? If you got a cold, you're
right.
like, bye-bye. You got the flu, it's GG. Or any kind of sickness. Oh,
I'll take care of your wife.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild times back in the, I don't know, what were the Pilgrims? That was like,
Man,
it was like,
bringing up dates on this podcast is
oh,
not a safe
that was the
territory.
1400s. 1400s.
1400s?
Yeah.
Is that real? Man,
Yeah, because
dude.
Chris Columbus said, who who discovered America? Discovered. Um, it's the most, I cannot believe they keep kids that.
Chris fuckhead
Anyway,
Columbus.
but I think it was like 1492 or something like that,
Yeah,
right? Something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
So it must have
For
been.
me, when I was learning all that history when I was a kid, I dug it, but I dug it for the stories. So whenever there was
Yeah,
dates,
exactly.
that was,
But
when
Chris
there
Columbus,
was
that's a dope story, dude.
yeah,
Okay, think about that guy.
yeah,
You go on a boat and you tell your family, you go, see you in a year, and you get on a boat and you go
yeah,
and you discover this new land, this new frontier, this new that no one's been before.
yeah.
And then there's these people here, and you're like, who are you people? I
And
don't
then
like you people.
your first thought is just like this, you have this magnificent spiritual experience finding this new piece of land that no human thought was existed, and he decides, I'm going to rape and murder everyone on
Exactly.
this
Exactly.
continent.
And I'm gonna take this land for myself.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen,
American
is
history.
American history.
Damn Europeans.
Origin, damn Europeans.
Um, but anyway, I don't even remember how we got started on that. Oh,
Pilgrims.
the Widowmakers.
Yeah, Widowmakers and
Yeah,
Pilgrims.
yeah.
That's
But yeah,
an
it was
episode
amazing.
title. Widowmakers and Pilgrims. That's funny.
Yeah,
Pat myself on the back for that one.
This podcast. The last one I called "Social Media is Destroying the Youth."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't remember, even though I just recorded well, it's because I recorded the Jaws one
All right,
after the Wizards
right.
thing, so I don't remember
Yeah.
what we talked about at the beginning of that one. But
We named our
social media. We named our Crustables?
Our testicles. I think yours was named Susan.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Um.
That's good.
But,
Dude, I
what?
have a couple of things I want to share with you because I have been on a music kick recently,
Oh, yeah?
and I have a couple of albums that I want to talk to you about. I have
All right,
four.
got my phone pulled up right here.
I have 4 albums that I want to mention to you, and
Woo!
4. We don't have to talk about all of them, but I'm gonna say all of them first. I just want them to be in the world, and I'm just excited about them, and I
Right.
want you to know about it. So
Recommend
the first
to
one,
the people.
the first recommendation, which you know already, I know you know this, but you might not listen to it, is Channel Trace.
Yeah, I know Channel Trace. Yeah.
I think he's more of a
I've
producer.
never listened. Yes, I've only listened to his remixes of Tyler songs.
Yeah, and he made that song with JPEG Black Moses that Jared likes a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He
Okay.
has some sweet EPs,
Is
and
he
he
a rapper?
creates. I think he's more of a producer, but
Okay.
I really like his
So
rapping.
he
But a lot,
produced that song,
yeah,
the
he
Black
produced
Messiah
it.
song,
He
just like
produced it,
okay.
and he does the hooks for it too.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, okay.
he's the guy with the deep
Okay.
voice.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could remember the hook. Well, it's lucky because now
Me
I don't
either.
have
I
to.
can't remember it.
I don't get to embarrass myself, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So Channel Trace is awesome. His two EPs, the self-titled EP and then Black Moses EP. I think the Black Moses EP is better, but they're both sweet. They're great. Like they're like stoner hip hop. I haven't listened to
Yeah.
this real stoner hip hop. It's super
Yeah.
great. Another thing is you should listen to this album because you talk about that Beastie Boys album. What is that? That's all samples,
Oh,
Mr.
Paul Thicc.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So here's another album that's mostly full of samples that's like really awesome is called Girl Talk, Feed the
Okay.
Animals. It's like the Mouse Sounds album,
Yeah. Okay.
but it's more relaxed and chill. And it's, you know, how he mixes the samples is funny, but it's just really fucking well made.
Yeah.
So you dig it. You
What's it
really
called
dig
again?
it. It's called Girl Talk, Feed
Girl
the
Talk.
Animals.
The
It's so sweet.
artist, Girl Talk.
Yeah, the artist is Girl Talk.
I've heard that name before.
It's a pretty famous album, and it's like it was made in
Yeah.
2008, so
Okay.
it's an old album. Another and two more albums, and these are combined people. The first one is Soft Hair, which that's that's the band name and the artist name, Soft Hair, and that is a crazy good album that apparently a lot of people have listened to, but I've never heard about it before. But it's so sweet. It's Soft Hair is. It's kind of like
hair, dude.
yeah,
It's kill me, dude. Soft hair, dude.
you just look at the album cover. The album cover is really funny.
Yeah. Soft hair.
But that Soft Hair, and then the other one, L.A. Priest, Ingy.
L.A. Priest.
Ingy. Do you know the song Good Sign?
I don't think so.
You might recognize it. I think it's a song that I've heard that song before, and I don't know if I found it or you or Jared showed it to me. But the L.A. Priest is part of Soft Hair, and both of them are kind of like
hair, dude.
they're like this.
Crazy.
Isn't it cool? I like it a lot. It's like super funny and kind of draggy.
Yeah.
But this is kind of like the Tame Impala sound. Yeah, dude, I love that album cover. It has they both Soft Hair and LA Priest kind of has a Tame Impala, Ariel Pink, what's the other thing? Of Montreal. Yeah, dude, all that kind of stuff. I just can't get enough of it. Like I just can consume that all day long.
Yeah, me too.
I've been obsessed. So those are the albums I've been obsessed with that I just wanted to force down your throat in the public.
What am I listening to?
I don't want to know.
Oh. I know what I've been listening to.
What?
Oh my god. Have you heard of, you know Cardi B, right?
Yeah. No, who's that? Cardi B? Is that the president? Probably the president.
I wish he was the president.
Who knows? Who knows where the fuck would be if Cardi B was president? I hope that Joe Biden announces Cardi B as the vice VP. People will be flocking to the polls. Cardi B is going to save us. Because everyone knows that the VP is going to be the president because Biden's going to die if he gets elected. You know, out of a heart attack once he sees how Donald Trump has treated the White House. Yeah.
Come out.
Yeah.
And dude, it's called part of my language for these people if you're easily offended. I mean, it's gonna be on the radio. It's called WAP. WAP. Do you want to take a wild guess what it stands for?
WAP. Okay, give me three guesses.
It's Cardi B.
Yeah.
And the rapper and featuring, I don't know if you know this rapper, but she's fucking awesome. Meg Thee Stallion. So if
I don't know her.
Any of those, if you know their style of music, that's the only hint I'm gonna give you.
Okay. Well, here's my first guess is
it's very dirty.
Okay, so it's probably not this one. Well, I'm still gonna guess this one. White ass person. That's my first thing that came to my first head.
White ass person. That's so funny. White ass person.
It's offensive. What's the most
I could
offensive?
sing that song. I'm a white ass person because I'm like the
Yeah, dude,
whitest
that's your next.
man.
That's your next single
I'm the
that will come out.
whitest man maybe to grace the earth.
Dude, that will be on your Thick Boy Baja Dave
Baja Dave. Hey,
release.
hey, hey.
I didn't say anything.
Go
I don't know what I'm
good.
talking about.
All right, so you got three guesses.
I
Guess
have three
what
guesses. My guess first.
WAP stands for. And
I'm trying
the
to
only
think of
hints I'm
like,
giving you is that, it's Cardi B. Knowing your knowledge of Cardi B's music,
which is very
and
little.
her persona,
Okay.
and
I don't even know if I know what she looks like. Can I look up a picture of
oh, you
Cardi
know what
B?
she looks like. I'll be shocked if you
I'll
don't.
recognize her.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
You're giving me
Well, be
another
careful
hint.
because if you search Cardi B, it'll
Oh,
probably come up.
okay. Well, I don't want to do
All
that
right,
then.
guess it.
I don't want to cheat. Okay, okay.
WAP.
WAP. I'm trying to think of like a really offensive word that starts with. I can't think of it.
It's
Maybe
not
anal.
like there's only one cuss word.
Only one cuss
Yeah,
word.
only one cuss word.
Okay. It's since I guessed ass as the cuss word.
Yeah,
Is a the
yeah.
cuss word? Okay.
Ass. You're right.
Ass is right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ass. Okay. Ass. So white in person is not
Oh,
right.
well, this is like everything. Oh man,
I'm gonna guess
I'm gonna get copyrighted.
whittle ass penis.
That dude, that is so fucking funny. That is weirdly close.
Really?
Yeah. So it's wet ass pussy.
I should have guessed that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's
But
like
anyway,
if I was more clever.
that song is a nasty. I mean, nasty banger. It was
Yeah.
literally Cardi B going, "You want this wet ass pussy?" Like
Oh
literally her.
yeah.
It is one of the most sexy charged songs I have ever heard in my life. And if you want to laugh your fucking ass off, it is so dirty. Like it is. It's. So, I mean, dude, she has a line where she goes macaroni in the pot, like relating to like
Wet ass pussy.
macaroni sounds when you sex. Anyway, um, and then yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's really nasty, and I love it. It's very horny. Um, and like
That's the
literally,
anthem. That's the anthem that we need right now.
I agree.
Wet ass pussy,
Wow.
wet ass pussy. Whap.
Like
Does
I
she say?
couldn't, I could, no, she didn't say wow. It's just what I
Oh,
was.
okay. That'd
Um,
be funny.
but
Whap, whap.
but dude, if you want to laugh your ass off, when I saw that this was even a thing, I was like,
Whew.
dude, why? So the song is entitled "Wet Ass Pussy,"
Yeah.
and there's a clean version of the song. There's a clean version of the song. They like bleep out all the cuss words,
It's just called
but
wet.
it's still
Wet.
so dirty. Dude,
Wet.
the hook is still wet and gushy. That's the hook. And like the fucking lyrics are so dirty. Like she's talking about sticking your truck in this little garage. Like it's like no cuss words, but it's still about like fucking.
Yeah. It's just
So
all.
I'm
It's all
like, why did they? Who
synonyms.
was the poor soul that had to sit there and edit this clean version of the song? Like, no one should have played this on the internet, like on the
Yeah. Right.
fucking radio. Like,
Yeah. Right.
what kids are gonna be like, what goofy? Like, I hope they're, I hope, I hope kids aren't listening to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what came
I
out.
wonder
I love it. It's
who does
incredible.
that work, because like I assume that Cardi B
Her
must have had
engineer,
done that. She must have.
no,
No, so like they like
no.
modified it so it's like what Gucci.
Well, no, see, we're gonna actually this person. What made me laugh about it is it's not like edited to sound like that. She
Yeah.
actually, I guess,
Yeah, she
recorded
did. Yeah, okay,
what
that's what I was
Aaron Gibson.
wondering.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, I
Dude,
thought that was really funny.
how soon do you think that happened after she had the idea? Was she like, okay, I'm gonna write some clean lyrics for this too, or did she write it and their engineer was just like, we got to figure out a radio safe
I don't
version of
know. I
this?
really don't know. I mean, I mean, Cardi B's music is. I mean, it's ridiculously dirty.
Yeah,
Which I love about her. She's a go fuck. I mean,
yeah,
like does not care. I mean, she's just
yeah,
rapping about anything, and she's her own woman, and you gotta respect that. My favorite thing about the response to the song
Yeah.
is
Is it
there's been so many
controversial?
controversial in the sense of like this is really dirty. Like it's like dude,
Yeah.
they can do whatever they want. It's a sex song, you know. They
Yeah,
can talk
sure.
about whatever. Like it's fine. And you should look up Anthony Fantano. He reacted to it on his Twitch stream, and
Yeah.
he loved the song, but his reaction to it is so funny.
Yeah.
Like he literally is like, just the chat, a bunch of people are being like, "Fuck the song's gross" or whatever, and he
Yeah.
straight up goes, "If you don't like the song, you don't know how to fuck," and then moves on.
Ooh, that's awesome.
It's
Man,
really funny. It's really
that
funny.
dude is so entertaining.
He's so entertaining.
It's so nice to have such a weird gregarious personality who's also a mature human being.
Yeah.
It's so great.
He's great. Anyway, but I
Well,
also listened to Johnny Cash. I've never listened to Johnny Cash before, and
oh,
I'm getting into some Johnny Cash. And
wait, like ever? You walked through
no,
the,
I
you
mean like
walked up.
I've listened to Johnny
Yeah.
Cash before, but I've never like sat down and like been like, all right, what's his best albums? You
But
know?
you like walk the line,
Oh, I
right?
love Walk the Line. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
great,
interesting.
great, great
Yeah,
movie.
I should. I'm saying this because I'm surprised. It's not because I'm a Johnny Cash fan. I
Yeah,
haven't listened to Johnny Cash
right.
either. I'm just
Well,
surprised
I mean
you
I
have.
know like the hits,
Yeah,
Cocaine Blues, fucking
dude, I don't even
Ring
know
of
that.
Fire. Yeah. So I know the hits. I mean, I just like I've never like
Yeah,
sat down and like went into his back catalog. And it's
it's good for
surprisingly
you.
not surprising, but it's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just Johnny Cash.
Have you that speaking of back catalogs of famous people that we probably should know, but we don't because whatever reason. Have you listened to Division Bell at all by Pink Floyd?
Yes,
It's
I
the one.
have heard it. You know, that's known for being because that was if my Pink Floyd history is correct. That is
Roger
the album.
Waters is not on
Yes,
it.
that is the one that
Yeah.
Roger Waters. That's the first album where Roger.
Yeah,
Well, that's their
it's
last album. That's their last album, right?
I don't
I know
know.
they
I
made.
believe you.
I know they made the later years that came out like a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
That was like B sides. I think
Yeah,
that
a
wasn't
new
Pink Floyd coming
creation.
together and
Yeah, sure.
making. So I think that the Listen Bell is the last Pink Floyd album. It's like, but it's considered by many to be one of their weaker
Yeah.
albums, and I thought it was great. I thought it was really cool, man.
When I was
I don't
listening
think it's
to it,
Roger Waters, but
yeah, right.
it
That's
doesn't
the
have the
thing.
lyrical prowess of or the vocals of Roger Waters. But
Yeah.
you know, the thing about it is David Gilmour. You know, who's the head?
He's still a really good songwriter.
He's still like I mean, such an awesome. The compositions are still and the instruments and it's still Pink Floyd, man. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
right.
still Pink Floyd. I mean, they didn't really lose. It's just, it's hard because you're comparing it to,
Dark Side
I
of the
argue,
Moon, The Wall.
quite possibly, like, wrap your head around this. They released Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and The Wall back to back to back.
Like year after year after year?
No, it was like, couple years in between, but I
Yeah.
mean, still though.
Like
I mean,
iconic album, iconic album, iconic album.
beyond iconic. I
Yeah.
mean, Dark Side
Yeah,
of the Moon is
true.
one of the most highest selling albums of all time. And same with The Wall. And so coming after that, it's like when Roger Waters leaves, and you lose that conceptual mind that he has for
Yeah,
writing
yeah,
kind of
right.
lyrics and composing kind of these interesting concepts for the albums. Like, yeah, you're gonna lose something, but it's
Yeah.
still Pink Floyd. It's still good.
That's exactly how I felt about it.
Yeah,
And I actually didn't listen to the full thing. I just listened to the first couple of songs, but my
yeah,
sense of it was I really like this, but it doesn't have like um the trippy like
yeah.
complete album exposure. It's more
It
like
feels
these
more
are
prog
good.
rocky.
Yes, it's more just
Yeah,
like a really good prog rock album.
yeah, yeah. It's a
That's
cool
like
send off. It's
maybe
like
maybe
it's
David
not.
Gilmour should have just put it under his name and just like had the
Yeah,
Pink Floyd band. I
yeah,
don't know. It's
yeah,
hard to say.
yeah.
Might have gotten a better reception that way.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah,
Who the fuck
it's a good
cares? They're
album.
famous. They're fine. They don't
Yeah,
need like they don't
they
need
are
to.
okay.
That album probably made a lot of money too, just because it said
Yeah,
Pink Floyd on it.
yeah,
No one
oh yeah,
cares.
oh yeah. And I think
Everyone's
it
gonna be
was,
pissy,
if I
but
read correctly, I think it was marketed as their last album. I think they made it because Roger left, and I think there's a lot of stuff going on with the band. I mean, they're a band for fucking years and years and years.
yeah,
They're like, all right, we're done,
yeah, right,
So I think it was marketed as their last album. So it's
yeah.
probably,
And honestly, after having 3 iconic albums, it's kind of weird to be pissed off when you get a good album, to be pissed off that it's not iconic. That's
right.
kind of that's a
I
weird
know,
complaint.
yeah. That's like the Kanye thing
That,
too, though. Like
yeah.
that happens with all these artists that are so big.
That's like getting a burger, and every time you get a burger, like you go to McDonald's and it's like, this is not the best burger I've
This is
ever
not
had.
right. Yeah, exactly. It's like
It's sure it's like
burger.
I don't go out and I like getting the best burger I've ever had, right?
Right.
Like I don't go to burger places that I don't love, or I don't get food that is not like the best shawarma or whatever. But I'm
Sure.
not pissed when I don't go to the place that I think is the best.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then I get the
exactly.
shawarma and it's
Yeah.
subpar
You gotta
compared to the
balance it
best.
out.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out why this is the best.
Yeah, dog.
uh,
Anyways, we should
yeah,
start
music
talking about
recommendations. And let's transition.
transition, baby.
I chose the shirt because we're talking about Palm
Oh,
Springs.
dude, I didn't even think
Yeah,
about that. That's so
and
appropriate.
and it's kind of similar to the shirt that Sandberg wears in the movie.
Yeah.
Kind of completely different color, same vibe.
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirt. Anyway, this movie is like I said called Palm Springs, and it's streaming on Hulu.
Yep.
And if you listen to the last episode, I kind of mentioned like I've seen this movie twice now, and I mentioned that this movie in January 2020 during the Sundance Film Festival before the pandemic hit, before all this fucking chaos,
Pre-pandy,
uh,
if you will.
pre-pandemic, this movie broke the record for the highest selling movie at the festival. Not like some people might take that as this is the best movie that's ever premiered at Sundance.
Uh-uh.
No, it's the highest selling movie. It's the movie that was bought for the most money, beating the record by 69 cents with the Lonely Island little stamp on it.
Do you know who they beat? Who was the winner
Oh, I
before?
don't know. I don't know. I should have looked that up. I don't know. I
I
want
don't
to
blame
know.
you. I just thought
Yeah, I
about it
don't
right
know.
now.
I don't know. I
Send
would
us
think.
the response at thickandbutter@gmail.com.
Yeah, yeah.
Or don't. I don't
Or
know.
comment.
Or comment.
Um,
Subscribe while you're at it.
subscribe. Uh, so this movie stars Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. And I
Good
hope I
job.
said that,
Good
and
pronunciation.
J.K. Simmons, which,
That was a
uh,
surprise. I was so
oh, dude,
pleased
me
to see
too, man,
that.
me too. I didn't know he was in this movie at all, and
Yeah.
I love J.K. Simmons,
Man, what a great
my
job.
favorite
What a
actors.
great what a great fucking actor.
Yeah, he's all great fucking actor. Just Boston. And this is a time loop movie. And
Believe it or not.
one of the time loop movies are all I love time loop movies. Like I love time travel movies, I love time loop movies,
Yeah.
I love everything time related,
Yeah.
There's some time travel, time looping, I'm in, I'm in.
Yeah, dog.
And this movie has been compared to films. The only film that I could really compare it to is Groundhog Day.
Right.
But I think that is a disservice to this movie because I don't think that there's definitely some similarities on Groundhog Day, but it's definitely takes the time loop kind of genre, the very, very, very small genre that it is,
Yeah.
and definitely, in my opinion, like it's original and unique and cool.
Hmm.
And so this is a romantic comedy, and this is about um Sarah and Niles. What a name,
I like
Niles.
Niles. I think that's a cool name.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
It depends on
And
the personality of the person, though. Like,
yeah,
you can get a real asshole named Niles.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Anyways, carry on.
And so what this movie is about is there is a wedding taking place in Palm Springs, and we open on Andy Samberg's character, who's dating this girl, and who's there for the wedding for you know, his girlfriend is one of the bridesmaids at his wedding.
And it seems
And
like his life is kind of shitty, but he's not really
yes,
acting like it is, and we
yes,
don't really get why.
yes. And it turns out that he is stuck in a time loop. He is
Yeah.
stuck in this one day in Palm Springs, the wedding day.
Yeah.
Um, and he's been there for a while. And he meets the sister of the bride, Sarah. And she gets roped up into the time loop with him, and we got a romantic comedy.
Yep.
And I think this movie is fucking great. I love this movie, and I'm curious to see what you think of it.
Yeah. I thought this movie, I really, really enjoyed it too. I definitely have some problems with the story of it, but I think even those problems with the story might be more personal vendettas, and it's I don't think that the story works really well. i
Yeah,
just i just don't necessarily like the trajectory that they took. I think they could have been taken a little in even more original trajectory,
yeah,
specifically with the second half, but
yeah,
it's not like it
for sure.
doesn't work. It works
Yeah,
really
right.
well. It works fine. The film is a really nice and super entertaining package, which I think this film is I think this film is kind of spawned from Groundhog Day. It's essentially someone
Absolutely,
saw it and
absolutely,
said, "Oh, I want to make a Groundhog Day,
absolutely,
but that's a little bit more irreverent,
absolutely.
a little
Yeah,
bit more weird,
yeah,
and a
yeah,
little bit more modernized." I kind of
yeah,
feel like this is like a modernization of the
absolutely.
of the Groundhog Day, where
Right.
it's almost like a satire of it in
Yeah,
a
and
way.
I
And I
think
think that
yeah,
it's really it's interesting. I
yeah.
like it a lot.
And so I thought like I went into this movie kind of like, you know, with some expectations. The highest selling movie in Sundance. I was like, all right, what am I gonna get? And I mean, it made sense to me why this was the highest selling movie because this is a, like you said, this is a really fun movie. This is just
Mhm.
a really enjoyable movie with fantastic performances and a really like I thought this movie was really funny, like really funny, like
Yeah,
really
I agree. It's
really
really funny.
irreverent. And if you're a fan of The Lonely Island and Andy Samberg style of comedy, I think you'll like this movie. It kind of
I
fits along with that, you know?
and I think it's impressive that I think almost all the jokes land. I can't really think of a
Yeah,
joke that I was like, "Oh, that was a
yeah,
good attempt but didn't really work." Like,
yeah,
no, all the jokes actually they worked, and they may not have made me like laugh out
yeah,
loud, but I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
"That's
yeah, yeah, right.
humorous," and it was
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah,
So I
right.
that's a lot for a
Yeah,
comedy. When you're trying to be a comedy and all your jokes work,
yeah,
good
absolutely.
job.
Yeah, no,
You
exactly.
got 50% of your genre right.
And I especially am excited about this movie because good comedies are so hard to come by these
Yeah.
days. Like they
Yeah.
really are. And I love comedy. I love comedies. And we don't get a lot of real comedy films anymore. Like these films that are, actually, written by a human being
Yeah.
and that have a story and that they have characters, real fleshed out characters, real dialogue. Comedies nowadays, especially studio comedy. This is not a studio comedy, it's an indie film, but um, studio comedies just get these funny people, these funny actors, aka Will Ferrell and all these people,
Who's hugely talented but has been in such
super
garbage
talented.
movies.
But lately, man, I am
Get a
just
different agent,
I
dude.
have a
Holy
weird
shit.
I have Sandler for the longest time was made fun of for making silly movies. I think Will Ferrell might be worse. I
Yeah.
really do. I mean, I think the problem with Will Ferrell is he's not that good of an actor either. Sandler's a
Yeah,
terrible
see,
actor.
I think that's the thing that's different, because with Sandler, people know he's good, and it's just like, dude, we
But
know you
also
can do better.
Sandler is brilliant because Sandler is able, he's like, hey, no one wants to see their movies in theaters anymore. Netflix size of the deal. He just puts his movies on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like that. He is anyway. This isn't an
He is
Adam Sandler part. Genius,
he's a
very
smart
smart
Jewish man.
businessman. Yes. Anyway, but I think Will Ferrell movies are worse.
Yeah.
Now,
I think I can agree.
but the problem. So here, what I was gonna say is comedies, studio comedies are kind of based on ideas, their concepts that would be
Mhm.
funny, but they don't
Mhm.
actually flesh them out in a movie. So
Yeah.
like the last Will Ferrell movie was called like The House, and it was about like this upper
Jeez,
class
I
middle.
haven't even heard of that.
Yeah. I'm glad some people haven't, because his movies are bombing so hard. But it was about like a middle class family who don't have money to send their daughter to college, so they started gambling. They started a casino in their house, which is like funny. That's a
Yeah,
like
sure.
that idea is funny. The problem is they didn't write a movie around it. So what they
Yeah.
did was they just had Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler just improvise a bunch of scenes and funny people, and
Yeah.
that was it. And that's what a lot of comedies are, and so it's really so refreshing to see this movie that is weird. I mean, it has an awesome concept, and it's really well, tightly directed, really well written. I mean, really well written, really well acted. I mean, I think Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti had some of the best chemistry
Yeah.
in a romantic comedy I've seen in years. I mean, this
Yeah.
is one of my favorite romantic comedies I've seen in quite some time. And I'm not like a romantic comedy nut. I haven't seen all of them, but
But
I've
you're pretty
seen.
educated. You've done some
Yeah,
research
oh
like in
yeah.
college
I
and
mean, I took a
stuff.
class. I took a class on romantic comedies.
Thicc is a romantic comedy expert. Anyone
I
who
like.
says otherwise, I
I'm
will
not saying
fuck them up.
when they're good, man. I love romantic comedies. I mean, who
Yeah.
doesn't like some laughs and some
Yeah.
sweetheart romance? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
about this movie, about I, sorry, I made myself a screwdriver and it was a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. My train of thought is
Thick
based off
butter
of
scrub.
my train of thought is based off of what you just said, which is commenting on the quality of this film being a refreshing comedy, which
Yeah,
I agree with for
yeah.
these following reasons. Because the problem with movies like the Will Ferrell movies that you were talking about is that I
Holmes and
feel like
Watson.
they don't even
Oh,
have to be movies. They could just
yeah.
be like the dialogue and that's the joke.
They're like
But
sketches. They're SNL
yes,
sketches that
that's
are
I
stretched into.
fucking
Yeah,
hate that. Where
yeah,
it's like where the comedy is like it doesn't matter. The story's going on in the background. And
yeah.
then you just like and it's all about it's the Family Guy digressions, where you have a story going on and then
Right.
you just have like
That's just called
some
bad
funny
writing.
shit going on. But this movie, in addition to the story being good, they actually use the fucking camera for humor.
Right, exactly.
I
Yeah, right.
haven't really seen
Yeah.
the only other comedy that
It's very filmic.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
The Big Lebowski is like one of the few films that I think does this like expertly. Like
sure.
again, there's I don't know comedies as well, so I'm sure
Yeah.
there's more examples of that. But like Big Lebowski was is the first
Edgar
example I
Wright
think of.
movies.
Edgar Wright, that's another
Yeah,
great
yeah,
example.
yeah, yeah.
But that's such a rare thing in
Very.
comedies
This
for
movie
and
has a Edgar Wright line.
it does it
There's a
does.
lot of Edgar Wright lines to this movie. But so let's get like into this. So
All right, let's break down.
I have a bunch of things that I want to talk about, and one of the things that struck me the most when I watched this movie and why I watched it again, because I was so entertained by this movie, was Niles' character.
Hmm.
And I thought Andy Samberg's character was great. I'm a huge Andy Samberg fan, and it was so cool to see him in a movie where it was like this character was perfect, like written for him. I mean,
Yeah,
like just absolutely perfect for his style of humor, and he actually got to act in this movie, man. I
yeah, he
haven't
did.
seen I haven't seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't watch
I
that
haven't
show,
seen it
but
either. I've
so I
heard it's
can't
great.
comment on that. I've heard it's great too. I can't comment on that, but um, this is the best performance I've seen from him. I absolutely love him in this movie.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's funny because this movie is interesting when talking about the quarantine and the pandemic in my eyes because of the way what the film's about.
Hmm.
Niles is a character who has been living in this. One of my favorite things about this is he's been in this. I love how we start with him in the loop.
Yeah,
We see
yeah,
him
that's really
in the
interesting.
beginning, but we don't know how long he's been in this
It could have
loop
been a
for.
million years. He
It
could
could
be
have,
in there for
yeah,
like
exactly.
forever.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that about this movie. I love that they didn't overly explain and complicate things. Um, and so his character has this outlook on life that I think a lot of people in the pandy have had similar thoughts to this character.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah, that's
if we
true.
were quarantined, the gays are kind of the same. They're kind of, especially in my life, they kind of blend in with one another.
Yeah,
Um,
I had a friend who said exactly that to me. He texted me, "Yeah, man, I've been living the same day for the last 2 weeks."
exactly. Right.
Sam Borden, you
Right.
poet. It's true.
Yeah, and some of the things that he says in this movie is like kind of about is life worth living? Um what is the what's the point of existence? And I think this
Hmm.
movie and the ending and this whole movie is kind of about kind of if you're gonna live existence, you might as well do it with another person, you know?
And yeah, and the other thing, he also had a nice when he was first introducing Sarah into the world of this strange looping thing. He brought in there's some like cool philosophy that he brings in here. Like
Yes,
he brings
yeah,
in the Buddhist thing where he came to the conclusion it's just like, well, you can't really find meaning in doing anything, but we can't really die. So the
right.
point is to just sort of live and suffer. And
Yeah,
then the
right.
idea of the point of existence is suffering.
Yeah.
There's like actually like although it was a joke and it was funny, it's just like
That's real.
that has
Yeah,
meaning to
yeah,
me.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, and yeah,
There's a lot of moments like that.
and the way that like Sandler plays the character is very like he believes that. It's not like jokey, It's not
Yeah.
like in a way where it's like it's pulled off as a joke. Like yeah, you're supposed to laugh at it because it's so he's just hanging out on Palm Springs drinking beers
Yeah.
and but he's saying real shit, And I love um, how like we were getting into how their relationship kind of blossomed, like how it kind of evolves because she's kind of stuck in this thing with him, and I love how they kind of do the whole Groundhog Day, in like a montage where they're kind of like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do a bunch of
Nice shit.
crazy
Cool. Crazy
things,
shit. Yeah. Crazy
kill my
shit. Yeah.
kill myself, like run into the truck,
Yeah.
and they do all that stuff, and super, super funny, man. It's really, really funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to know one of the things that I did not know going into this movie was J.K. Simmons and his character, and that is one of my favorite parts of this movie. So I remember watching it when Sarah and Niles were hooking up on the beach for the first time.
Yeah.
And the arrow just comes out of nowhere and
Yeah.
sends
Yeah.
it back and like that. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And when it was revealed that J.K. Simmons was like hunting him,
Yeah.
it was so funny, man. And I love that his character evolved and we learned that one night, during the wedding, they had a wild night,
Yeah.
doing
With
cocaine and
cocaine.
doing
Yeah.
and he went in there too, and he's so mad at him that he sometimes just goes and kills him for.
Yeah. It just goes on like this murdering spree of him. Yeah. Roy's character was such a refreshing little underlying subplot that
Yeah,
added, it made it feel it just added so much depth
yeah.
and extra humor to something that was already funny and
Because it's
pretty
so interesting
interesting.
because he's another character that's going through this. He's
Yeah.
been reliving the same day, every day.
Yeah.
And his outlook on it with his family and how, that is the comfort in his life and how, because he's been living this same thing, he's never going to see his kids grow up. And, that's, you feel for the character. You do.
Yeah,
Like, it's,
and thinking another cool thing that you made me think about was how the writing an example of why the writing's so well done is that you can see that the characters change, and I'm going to say something about like the second half of this film that might contradict that a little bit,
sure.
but for the most part it's really true that it's cool to see these characters learn from their experiences and grow up and surprise themselves and be and like Andy Sandberg is a guy who has accepted the meaningless of life, but he changes to realize that, and he's resistant to changing,
Right.
but he realizes that being with another person is meaningful
Yeah.
to him,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
changes him. And the same thing happens with like J.K. Simmons' character, where he
Right.
is first vengeful, but then he actually comes to rebuild his relationship with his family, which
Right.
is something that we in subtext kind of get that was falling apart before he got into
Mm-hmm.
the time loop. So
Mm-hmm.
even though this is a purgatory kind of hell, these people are improving themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So which is why you want to watch a movie. You want to watch
Right.
a character's progression, sometime a progression to a nasty end, and some, but in this case they progress to a more uplifting end, and
Right.
that's good
Exactly. Yeah.
writing.
Yeah. Um. There's a lot of moments in this movie that made me laugh pretty. I mean, like I love the opening to this movie because
Uh-huh.
you don't really know. I love that they don't reveal to you. We learn through Sarah about that he's in this time loop, right? We
Yeah.
don't learn. It's not told. It starts from the perspective of Niles, and we
Yeah.
see that like who is this guy? Like he's just
Yeah,
showing up
right.
with a Hawaiian shirt and a beard, just doing this beautiful wedding speech. And I love that Sarah's kind of looking at him like, who is this guy? Like this
Yeah.
guy is one of the most fascinating dudes ever. One of my favorite shots in the movie is when the wedding is going, and Andy Samberg goes to the wedding and he starts dancing, and he's
Oh, dancing
like
around all the
mocking the
people.
boobs, and he
Oh god, that was
touches the
really
guy in the
good.
face. It was such a, that's one of my favorite things about time loop movies is like the character like Edge of Tomorrow or Groundhog, of course Groundhog Day, where they they know how the day's gonna go and how
Yeah.
they deal with the beats of the day. It
And
made me laugh so
that was
hard.
a hard shot to choreograph too.
Yeah,
So
oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
again visual comedy,
yes,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
that was a lot of work to make that when
yeah.
there's not like a
It's not
punchline
just
joke in there.
like through camera with handheld, just filmed it with
Yeah.
4 angles and edited it together. Not that.
That took like 14 takes. It
It's a
was a
real
hard that's a
movie.
hard shot. Yeah. It's cool. I
Yeah,
agree. That's a that also makes me think about a bit of a criticism about the way that this was presented. I'm conflicted about this because of course you have to advertise this as a time loop movie, but the
yeah,
way this film opens, you're not supposed to know that it's a time loop movie.
yeah,
So
sure,
you
yeah, yeah,
spend
yeah,
like
right.
the first 5 or 10 minutes waiting to the point that you reveal it's a time loop
Yeah,
movie.
right,
So
right,
that
right,
kind
right.
of wastes time.
Sure,
So that
yeah,
was kind
yeah,
of, I think that could have been a strategy that was improved, but
sure, yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah,
whatever. It's an
yeah,
indie film.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
I
it
wish I
definitely,
wish I didn't see the trailer is what
yeah,
I'm
if you didn't
saying.
know what this movie was, and also I mean, this isn't really like, one of the criticisms I have with just like streaming movies, and this one I think looks a lot like a movie more than like other streaming movies. But one of the problems I have with like
You
these,
mean like camera look, like the
yeah,
cinematography and
literally
stuff? I agree.
cinematography in it,
Yes, I totally
and this
agree.
movie looks more like a film
Yeah.
than a
Yes,
lot of other streaming
absolutely.
movies, but it's still
Absolutely.
like it still has this like high key lighting, and it still kind of looks like a low budget, movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Except for
not
some of the
taking away
night
from that.
scenes, but
Oh yeah,
some of
those
the
are
night
great. Yeah,
scenes are
yeah,
like
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
cinematic. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
They look great.
During the day scenes, there it's kind of like the same
Yeah,
high key
but I think
standardized.
you kind of have to do that because low budget, kind of you have to kind of just go. You don't
Use
have
the
a lot of
sun.
time to. Yeah,
Go
exactly.
as
You don't
fast
have a
as
lot of time.
possible.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, I mean, literally, I mean, this movie is so much fun, and like just watching the characters kind of fall in love with each other through, um, the them being in the time loop is just really sweet. And
Yeah.
one of the things that we haven't even talked about yet is Sarah. I love this. I love her
Yeah.
character. I
Yeah.
think her character is fucking awesome.
I
Like
haven't seen this actress
I
in
think
I
she's
don't
the
know if I've seen her
standout in
ever.
this movie. Honestly,
Yeah, I think she was
I've
great.
never seen her before, and
Yeah.
she is hilarious. And I want to see her in more stuff.
I
She
agree.
is
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
Um, and so another thing about that character that I love that the film does really well is how she wakes up in this room. It looks like the room that they're staying in. In the house or whatever. And the not, I want to say twist, but there's a twist that happens where
I would call
the
it a twist.
yeah, I would call it a
I
twist
would
too.
call it a twist.
she wakes up in the groom's room. And
Which it's
that's
her
revealed to
sister's
us.
wedding. It's her
Yeah,
sister's wedding, so
right.
it's her sister's
And
fiance.
that is revealed to us. And that I did not see that coming, like at all.
No, no.
And I think that added so much to it, and also added a lot to her character and like why she wanted to get out, because she
Yeah,
just couldn't deal with the idea of waking up every day and seeing this horrific. I mean, think about that. I mean,
yeah,
dude. I mean, if you do something like that horrific and that, it's not horrific, but
yeah.
that, like hurtful to your sister or
Shameful
yeah,
might be the
shameful
word. Yeah,
friend, like I mean, to relive that day every single day, dude. Oh, get me out of
yeah.
there.
Yeah, this is an interesting point because this kind of leads into where I have more of my problems with it. The
I
twist
know,
is
I know what you're
interesting,
gonna say.
but again, this is the personal problem I have because up until this point, I think the movie was so phenomenal. And I think after this point, the movie is still great, but I have a major problem with it. Because I think that the trajectory of the relationship and them getting to like falling in love with each other, and then that great scene where they're by the campfire and they're on shrooms and they see the
Great
brachiosaurus
scene.
and then they
Great
have
scene.
sex. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
such like an
Yeah,
emotional, like it just led up to
yeah,
that so well. It was such a good arc. It was so
yeah,
well, it was perfect.
yeah,
It was really
yeah,
well
yeah, yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But at that point, that's when you reveal that she was sleeping with the
Right,
fiance. And
right.
then at that point, you start into the Pit movie.
Yeah.
And the pit movie is a term that my girlfriend Eva came up with, which I think is a brilliant term for this. And it gets a little bit more cringy and it gets more pit humory because what happens after that is that they have their they get in an argument, because it's revealed that Sandberg lied about not having sex with her in the loop multiple times, and that upsets her, and she's frustrated with this with the fiance thing, which I initially I didn't like as much, but your explanation of it, I'm coming around to that. I think that
Yeah.
is a more interesting thing and is important to her character, so I'm changing my mind on that. Um, but see, the thing to me is I just don't really like that story very much. I don't like the Pit movie story,
I
and it
don't even
was
like. Okay, wait, can you describe to me what that is again?
so like so you have the point where they are at this emotion where they have this growth, and right after the brachiosaurus scene they have sex. They're at this level of their relationship, so
Yeah,
where they've grown together and they've grown to fall in love with each other, or are thinking
right.
about that they're falling in love with each other. After that moment is when you have the whole second act, which again, you're supposed to have a thing where they have like a falling out, right? That's what's supposed
Yeah.
to happen in movies. But to me, what happens is that we just regress, and I don't really think we ever get back to that, like that high point of the brachiosaurus
Oh yeah,
scene. So
sure.
so like I don't like,
Yeah,
it feels like we're backtracking at that point, and
yeah,
it's just like drama and then people making a hissy fit to extend the movie, which I like that they extended the movie because I enjoyed the movie,
yeah.
but I wish that they did it progressing their relationship instead of there being this problem about, I don't know, I
I
just
think you're
feel
getting to the fact that, like, I understand what you're saying, and like, that was one problem that I had with it too, where I think that when I like that moment a lot. I like that they have this argument, and the way that the movie tells it, I think I love how this movie switches perspectives in a really cool way. I
I
like
agree.
how, like, we, like, in that moment when,
It has a lot of really creative like perspective
yeah,
switches
yeah,
too.
yeah,
It does
yeah,
them like very fast and
yeah,
abnormally,
yeah,
which
it's
is,
cool.
I have to watch again to see, like, if I thought it worked the first time I watched
Oh
it, and
yeah,
maybe a second time I
oh
might
yeah,
think they work less or more, but it was
yeah.
it was really interesting to watch how they did it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really, really good editing and super interesting, like just
And
camera
efficient,
perspectives.
very
Yeah,
efficient.
oh yeah. And so in that moment when Sarah kind of realizes that, I've never been put over a cop before, and that whole scene where she kind of basically like kills J.K. Simmons and fucking runs him over,
Yeah, right.
runs in front of the truck and gets hit by a truck. And
Yeah.
now we see Niles' perspective of, because he can't find her. He's living with the fact he's like going through the breakup in this time loop
Yeah.
without her. It was like, that's something in romantic comedies that happens all the time.
Yeah.
The moment where, there's a high point, and then they break up, and then they get back together. That's part of the genre, and I think that what made me enjoy that was how original it was in this movie. Like I've never seen it portrayed in the way where
Yeah,
he's
yeah, it's
literally
true.
like living. Like I love how we see him in the time loop, and he's kind of
Yeah.
reverting back to his lifestyle in the beginning of the movie, and so and but the one I think that goes on for too long. That was going to be my criticism, is that for a
Yeah,
long time,
right.
like, where is Sarah? Like, where did she go? And
Yeah.
ultimately, I did love when they revealed that she was going to diners every day and studying physics to
Yeah,
try to
I thought
get
that was
out of
cool
here.
too.
I thought that was hilarious, and I loved that. And I loved her, like, using the goat like, I just thought that was really crazy,
I wish I
sci-fi fun.
see the thing. I agree with that, and
But
I
I
think that
agree with part
that's
of what you're saying. I
yeah.
understand what you're saying.
So let me try this on, like, this theoretical version of the movie, because for one hand I think there should have been more stuff about the quantum physics, because that was such a clever way to get out of this problem, was
Yeah,
that she could just
yeah,
research quantum physics
yeah,
as much as she needed to,
yeah,
and less of the Adam Sandberg being miserable.
yeah.
I think that the structure of it, I think it's good for Adam Sandberg to be alone and to relive his life and realize
Mm.
that it's still meaningless, but he can't, like, forget
Well,
about it. He can't
right,
accept it
yeah,
anymore.
and I love that he's realizing in that moment that I need her in my life.
Yeah,
This is not the way to live my life.
and yeah,
And what I love about what develops is that he has this perspective of I want to, I want to be with you in here, but she's like, I gotta get out of here. I can't do it. And
yeah,
that was an interesting complication to me, where he wants to be with her, but she doesn't want to be in the loop anymore. And he
yeah,
doesn't really
right,
care about the loop. He just wants to be with her because he's been in this loop for God knows how long. But
right.
continue, sorry.
Yeah, well, it's tricky because I this film gets on a genre of movies that I struggle with a lot. And I think what I'm hitting up against is I'm hitting up against a hardcore bias I have towards these
Sure,
things.
yeah, sure,
Because this structure of this film is not bad, but I just don't fucking like it. I just don't like that we have to get through the drama of, like, because I don't do this shit in my life. I know a lot of people go through things like this and they sympathize with it, or a lot of people like to watch people go through that kind of drama. I just don't like that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Where it's just like when that situation happened, where it came forward that like that like breakup scene, as good as that scene was performed,
yeah,
I just don't like experiencing those moments on film, because
sure,
because it's hard for me to describe in a lot of times, because I'm
yeah,
still, like, working on it. It's the same reason that I have problem with cringe humor,
yeah,
where it's, again, a lot of people like it, a lot of people
yeah,
more than me, but for me, I think it's weak sauce,
yeah,
and I think it's kind of lazy. But that's so my bias. It's so unfair to say that
sure,
that's a bad quality of filmmaking, because I
yeah,
think it's that, but
yeah.
way more people don't and find way more valuable things out of it. And as you're talking about it, you're adding,
I
like,
just felt like I'm struggling with, like, what did you think? What would you want to happen to
what
them?
what I wanted to happen.
There had to be some conflict,
I think there had to be. It's sure there is some kind of conflict, and I don't know
and it is a
how.
romantic comedy.
See, the thing to me is what happened at the argument scene is that when you're progressing through relationships, you always come across struggles. It doesn't matter what relationships you're in; you naturally have them and you overcome them. And when you're not able to overcome them, is when this happens in life. When you're not able to overcome them, you have to either end the relationship or wait a little bit and see if you can readdress the problem.
Yeah,
And I think the way that this film dealt with it, which is just the way that a lot of conventional films dealt with it. And again, my experience of this might be different when I watch it a second time. But
hmm,
to me, how it kind of feels like is, instead of progressing the relationship, it sort of steps out of progressing it and goes back and relives the
yeah,
same
sure, yeah,
progression
yeah,
again.
okay, yeah,
I wanted it to
yeah,
go past the
yeah,
Brachiosaurus scene, but
right,
it
right,
didn't.
right,
It didn't, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah,
it just went back and just got
right,
back to the Brachiosaurus scene
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I wanted this movie to be. I wanted this movie to see what happens afterwards, but instead it's like, what
right,
happens after they have sex? Can they? But they can't talk about it.
Yeah,
and they never
right.
really talk about it. That
Yeah,
happens
right.
like after the movie ends. So
Well,
that's really what I wanted to see.
I think, yeah. I mean, I guess from my perspective, it's like I think
But it's part of the genre too. It's
that's
part of
like
the
an
genre.
interesting part of it to me. It's like I don't really care about that. Like
Yeah.
I don't. What was that going to be? It's like, oh yeah, that was great, cool. You know, like we love each other. Like, all right, the end.
Well, to me, it could have. To me, I don't know how it progressed. I don't know.
Yeah,
There could be an infinite amount of reasons,
yeah,
and maybe they come out of it. Maybe they love each other, or
right,
maybe they do have some kind of problem with it. I
right.
just think that the problem that they had with it was not progressive
Yeah,
enough
like
for
the
me.
problem that why they broke up in the first place,
Yeah, why they broke up
why
and
they
Sarah
had that
left.
argument.
Yes,
To
yes,
me,
to
like
me.
it worked like so. Like I loved it because it was
Logically, it works really well.
like
For some
because
reason, emotionally, it doesn't work with me.
sure,
But
yeah, yeah,
logically,
yeah,
it
yeah.
works great.
You can't explain that. I
Yeah.
totally understand. Yeah,
I have to
yeah,
watch it a couple more
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Again, I think it's more of a bias thing than anything else.
Right.
It's just like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
type of genre kind of thing
I
that
understand
bothers
now.
me more than it's like a
Yeah.
problem with it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
like, yeah. I mean, like, I don't love it either. I really don't. I mean, like,
yeah,
the thing about this though is that it's so well executed that I enjoyed it. Like,
yeah. See,
I'm right
that's
though.
the thing.
You're totally right. In a rom
That's
com,
the
this
thing.
happens in rom coms all the fucking time.
Yeah,
When it happens, I usually in a bad rom com, I either leave and stop watching it, or I just
yeah.
if I don't care. The thing is, I cared so much about both these characters, and
You want to see what happened after
I
that? Yeah,
wanted to see them work it out. So to see them kind of separate, and well, yeah. So
yeah. I
like
think
the way that that you find out that Niles had sex with her multiple times, and he
yeah.
lied to her about that, and that is that that's pretty that's heavy.
You
She's like,
know,
yeah,
you
tell her
know,
that.
maybe that's the point that is bothering me because to me, I think one of the problems I have with that is that it makes sense in that world. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
To me, it doesn't feel authentic to the character. And
yeah,
maybe that's just who I preferred Niles to have been. But I like that Niles was the character who he's in a time loop and he has infinite amount of time to seduce people, but
yeah,
he doesn't really have sex with that many people.
yeah,
I
right,
like that narrative.
yeah.
So when it came
Well,
and it
we
revealed to
don't know how
me that
long he's been
actually
in
that
there.
wasn't the case, right?
Yeah,
Right. Again, it's logical. It's
yeah,
totally logical.
yeah,
It disappointed me that
yeah.
that wasn't actually the world he was living in.
Sure,
So
sure,
so
yeah,
that
yeah,
reveal of how it actually was,
yeah,
I wish it wasn't that because I like Niles' character more, where he's a guy like there's something kind of stand up about a guy who's in a time loop and he just doesn't have sex with people like
right.
because of values, because it's hard. I don't know. That's way more interesting to me than
Yeah,
like
sure.
the same kind of sexual male's fantasy of
Well, that's
being
what
like,
I heard. Cutaways in this movie when when he's like when she asks him, she goes, "So who's you had sex with?"
yeah, I know that's one of
He's
the
like,
greatest moments.
I mean, yeah,
It's
he's
so
like,
funny.
"Your dad."
Yeah,
It's just like, what do we do? I don't
yeah.
know. Like, yeah, I love that too. That too.
That
It
was
was such a funny
that's
line because it's so dirty and it's kind
yeah,
of like
yeah,
movie that's not that dirty. It's pretty clean and relative.
yeah.
To other
That makes me think
movie
of
comedies.
another one of my favorite scenes. This might be my favorite scene is how they kept reusing his girlfriend cheating on him.
Oh yeah.
And he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
there's
dude.
not I love that the conversation
Stop.
when they first where they first he first kind of talks to her and they basically he seduces her the first time where they start to kind of have feelings for each other. they're
Seduces.
they're
Yeah.
outside the window while his
Yeah.
girlfriend is
Oh yeah.
cheating on him with
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. It's really
so
funny. Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
really like that.
Yeah. Did a really good job of like
And
really
they kept
hating.
reusing it. I love how
Yeah.
they
It's
kept
super funny.
reusing
Yeah.
moments
And
in
then they
different and interesting ways.
and then they blindfold that guy and they
Oh
put him
god,
in
that's
there and
so funny.
it's really funny. That character has one of my favorite lines in the movies. When the spiral moment when Niles is like, "All right, where's Sarah?"
Yeah.
The house and that guy's like, "Can he leave? Like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel
Yeah.
safe with him anymore."
Yeah, that was
And
funny.
I know people like that. So like it's
Yeah.
so funny, man. I
Yeah.
don't feel safe with him anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. But
I actually have another question for you too that's
yeah,
going through my mind because I think the trajectory of this story, the way they chose to end it It works again. It
The
works great.
literal ending, the last scene of the movie, or
Not like the literal ending. Although I think the literal ending is really clever, how
I
they
love the
explode
literal
themselves to the
ending.
ending. I think that's great. But more about how they decide to treat like the second half, where I think they
Sure.
decided to put it in the trajectory of towards repairing their relationship.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind
Right.
of what the
Yes.
second half was
Yes.
about.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Traditional rom-com.
Right, traditional
Yeah.
rom-com,
Yeah.
which is again, it's fair. It's a
Yeah.
rom-com. That's what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of wish that they had spent it developing their relationship
Yeah.
and investigating the loop more.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. No, I totally understand. Yeah. Yeah. That's a
Do
good
you do
fair
you do you, do
criticism.
you think that like I think that it would have been a better movie if they did
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I think. I mean, I don't know, because partly I don't even know. Like, I like that. I like that the loop is in the background. Like, I kind of like that they're just in the situation. Like, I don't
Yeah.
really love it. I want to.
I,
I don't know. I want to necessarily. I don't really. I don't necessarily want to see like more about like the inner workings of the loop or anything like that. I
yeah.
kind of like it would have been kind of interesting to see them try and figure out how to get out together.
Yeah.
But that would kind of contradict Niall's character a little bit because
I
he's
kind
kind
of
of
I
accepting it
Yeah, I
at
kind
that
of
point.
wanted. I think maybe I would have liked the liked the version of the movie that the second half we went totally to Sarah's perspective, and we spent the second half sort of tinkering with quantum physics and doing those experiments.
Yeah,
Because that
sure.
montage was really interesting to me, and it's just
Yeah,
like I wish I could have seen that.
yeah,
I wish I could have experienced more,
sure.
and I really
Yeah,
wanted.
I agree with
I,
that.
I just was so curious by this idea. I didn't
This
want
movie's
an
short. It could
answer.
have been a little longer too.
I could have been. I think so.
Yeah,
I didn't want an answer to the time loop because I
yeah,
think that's weak. But I think what would have been cool was it for it to get a little bit more weird and maybe to
yeah, sure.
re-involve J.K. Simmons back into the
Yeah, right.
involvement
Sure,
of
sure,
like them getting out or something like
sure.
that.
Yeah,
But again, I'm saying all these things that I think it would have been a better movie if they did those. But these are just ideas. These are just
yeah,
ideas that
yeah,
they probably had and they decided
for
against it
sure.
for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't
for
know.
sure.
I could write the movie if I wanted to, but I
Yeah.
fucking didn't. And they wrote it this way. So, and they did, it's
Emphatic
entertaining.
period.
Emphatic. That was awesome. I
Yeah,
loved that take me back
emphatic
speech.
period.
That was so funny.
Also, Andy Samberg, emphatic period.
Yeah.
Um,
He's such a charming guy. I
so
really like Adam
charming. I
Sandberg.
want to see. He's not in enough movies. He really
I
is.
hope he hasn't sexually assaulted anybody. That would really break my heart.
Andy Samberg,
Yeah.
bro. If that happened, I think I would. I wouldn't talk to anybody and say like, I'll be like, I don't
Yeah.
know. The world is a place, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
Please educate us if we're just so
Who's married
naive.
to Joanna Newsom? Do you know who Joanna Newsom is?
No idea.
Oh, dude, you gotta listen to her music. She's like an incredible artist. She's a harpist. She's a
Harpist.
singer-songwriter harpist.
My
She's
goodness.
incredible.
Joanna what? Houston? Hoops?
Newsom.
Newsom?
Yeah.
Newsom.
Newsom. Newsom.
Okay.
She's
I'll have
incredible.
my people
I think you
call
like
your
her a
people.
lot. She's super weird. Very bizarre. Very like folk. And she's a harpist. You don't see that a lot.
No, you don't. Harps are
But yeah,
rare.
anyway. But yeah, I love the ending. I love like when like he decides like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to get out of this loop. I want to be with her. I don't care if it's in the loop. I die. I don't care. And
Yeah.
one of my favorite moments in the movie is when he steals the car and he's rushing over before she blows up, and he goes. I forget the guy's name, but it's the older guy with the gun. And he
Spud.
goes up, Spud, yeah,
His
and
name
he
is
goes up and he's
Spud.
like, and he tells him that like you had sex with a girl in the bar. It's like, I'm your son. And he's like, I knew it. My heart so like that made me laugh
Yeah, that was really
so
funny.
hard.
That was really
Um,
funny.
but yeah, and I love the literal ending so much. Like the last scene of this movie, I thought I don't know why, but it was just perfect to me
Hmm.
because what this movie could have done, right, is ended them going in the loop, right. The end of this movie is kind of hard because they had to kind of choose an interesting ending because they they kiss, they go, if we make it, I love you, whatever. Adorable moment, music swells, that awesome green screen shot of them going into the loop. It could have ended right there. And
Yeah, right.
I would have been kind of satisfied. I'm like, I wish I would have seen if they got out or not, but
Yeah.
whatever.
An ambiguous creative ending.
Or
Ambiguous.
because the screen goes white. And usually when the screen goes white, you're thinking like, okay, time ellipses, or it's gonna fast forward in time. When we cut, Niles is still on the float in the pool,
Yeah.
and he's sitting there, and you're like, oh no, you
Yeah.
to get out, and she floats next to him, and they're just chilling, and their conversation kills me because they go, so what do we do now? And he goes, well, I gotta pick up my dog. It's like, you have a dog? It's like, yeah, Fred. And he's like, yeah, I gotta pick him up Sunday. And like, and then the family comes,
Yeah.
and they're like, what are you fucking doing in our pool? And then they just laugh, and the camera goes up and just goes in the desert. I don't know what it was, but I just thought that was the perfect ending to this movie
Yeah.
because it was almost about like to me that ending was so like poignant because it was almost about like this movie to me like young people who kind of feel stagnant in their life. They kind of feel like their lives are kind of going in this cycle because Sarah's character is kind of aimless. She didn't really know what her life entailed. Niles, we didn't really. I mean, he's been in this time loop. He's just been chilling and hanging out. We don't even know what his life was like before.
Yeah. Yeah,
Had this
right.
horrible relationship, um, and the ending to me was so perfect. It was like they found each other, they found the perfect person to live through life together, and it was such a mundane kind of thing where, oh, let's go pick up our dog, and they're happy with that. They're happy with just going on with their life, and I just thought that was so beautiful. I mean, they could have easily been like 10 years later, we see, fucking
Yeah.
Miles and Sarah, but that's not what this movie is. It's very unconventional in that way, So it's like I love the ending to this movie,
Yeah.
and it made me like notch it up a little bit because I just thought it was so like not what I thought it was going to be at all, and so like small and quiet and just
Yeah.
funny and cute, and that's how the movie ended. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think that's right. You make me appreciate it more because by that ending, I was more butthurt about my bullshit. I like the ending, but I was
yeah,
butthurt. So
sure.
you re-explaining that makes me appreciate it even more because you're explaining how unusual that is, for a
Extremely.
movie to do
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
And it's really effective for, you know, for for a resolution for these characters,
Yeah.
that's not just how movies are supposed to end, it's how their story
Yeah,
should
exactly.
end.
Right.
So I think it does end really well for them. I think that's totally appropriate for the
And
characters.
yeah, man, that was I think we did a pretty good job of going through this movie and what we
I
like
think so
about it, what
too.
we didn't like about it. I this is my favorite movie of 2020. Uh,
Yeah.
not
This this is
saying I'm
this
saying
is
maybe
literally the
five,
only
maybe
yeah,
five.
yeah.
Sonic, Bad Education, uh, the King of Staten Island. Yeah, this is my favorite movie of the year so far. We still got that Charlie Kaufman movie
Yeah.
coming out in 2020. Uh,
Which you bet your ass we're going to talk about that. Holy shit.
100%, 100%. And yeah, I love this movie. I wish it was on Blu-ray so I could fucking buy it, but it's not. It's on streaming. So when
Yeah.
streaming blows up,
Eventually.
I'm gonna lose this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
um,
I think this is the only movie I've seen in 2020, so I guess that
you
makes
saw
it my
Onward, right? You see Onward?
Yeah, I did. I did
Onward
see
came
Onward.
out. Onward, man, that movie came out right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
That
I
movie
watched
took a
that.
that movie
I
took a
rented
big
that.
hit financially.
Oh, I watched it during the pandy. That's
Yeah.
why. I
Oh yeah.
watched it. I
Yeah.
watched it. I spent like $20 and watched
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, well, I won't be a dick about it. They're both fine movies, but they're neither of them I liked both those movies, but I would neither. Even though there's the only 2 movies I've seen of 2020, I still wouldn't call them my favorite movies I've seen this year of 2020.
Yeah.
I don't want to like. There wouldn't be in my top 5.
Sure.
So they're just in it by default, but they're great movies still. Like that.
Yeah.
That's just me being an asshole.
Yeah. All right. So let's conclude. Oh, so for next week, do you want to choose the movie?
Yeah. What I was
You
thinking
have an
about
idea?
was
Okay, cool. Sweet.
what I was thinking about
Well, I don't
was.
have an idea.
I think we should do the AKIRA podcast with Sean.
Oh yeah, okay,
finally.
yeah.
So we'll get that all set up, and we'll get Sean on here with his headset, and maybe Jared too, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's watch AKIRA, and then we'll talk about it with some of our buddies.
Perfect. Sounds perfect. All right.
Whoa.
Thicc, what?
Do you approve of this movie?
Oh yeah, I approve of this movie.
I also approve of this movie. I think it's pretty good.
Palm
what does that make?
Click
what does that
approve.
What does that make it? You ready? Ready?
Yes.
Thicc and butter approved. Yay! Good movie.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's a good thing to watch during the pandy.
Yes,
Make you
it
happy.
really is.
Tell your mom about it.
Tell your sister. Tell your daddy.
But
also tell your people about this movie, but also this podcast.
Yeah, tell you about this movie, about us talking about this movie, all of the above, honey bunnies.
Like and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, wherever you're watching this.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
We're getting fucking consistent on YouTube now, so subscribe over there for sure, motherfucker. It doesn't have consistent good video, but man, is it up there every week?
And that notification bell, put that on so you get notified whenever your new episode posts.
Yeah, because man, we're not in the algorithm yet, for sure.
We're not in the algorithm, for sure. All right, people. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.